Okay, so in the previous video we have discussed about the wall of heart, and I told that the wall of heart is made up of three layers. The outer layer is called as the epicardium, the middle layer is called as the myocardium, and the inner layer is called as the endocardium. And I told that myocardium layer will be associated in the this transmission of impulse across the heart, so that contraction of heart can take place. Now we have to discuss about the conducting system, or what are the system that are present in the heart, or what is the system that are present in the heart which helps in the conduction of impulse across the heart walls, so that the heart gets contract and the blood is pumped out to the lungs or to the body parts, right? So what is conducting system? It is the generation of impulse. The conducting system, it helps in generation of impulse. It helps in generation of impulse, and how this impulse travels travels to the walls of auricles and ventricles and helps in contraction So I'll be discussing the entire system by a pictorial diagram. Okay, so while drawing the diagram I'll be labeling different parts of the conducting system. Okay, so first of all let me draw the structure of the heart. Let me draw the structure of the heart. Okay, so these upper two are the receiving chambers and the lower two are the discharge chambers. That means these two chambers will be receiving the blood, and you know that this is the right auricle and this is the left auricle, this is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. Now I'll not label any other parts of the heart because all the other parts I had explained earlier only. So here I'll be labeling only the conducting system parts. So the first conducting system, which is called as the SA node, it will be present in the right hand side of the right auricle, or which it is present near to the superior and inferior vena cava. We know that this right auricle, it receives the blood from two vena cavas. One vena cava is coming from the upper part of the body, which is called as the superior vena cava, where there is absence of valve. I had discussed all these things in the class. And one vena cava will be coming from the lower side of the body, which is called as the inferior vena cava, where a valve will be present, which is called as the valve of Eustachius. So this conducting system, the first part of the conducting system, that is the SA node, it will be present near to the superior and inferior vena cava, or it is present in the right hand side of the right auricle. So this is the first part of the conducting system, and this is the SA node. So this is the first part of the conducting system, and this is the SA node. So this SA node, okay, it is this all the parts of the conducting system, it is not present internally. Okay, don't think that it is present inside the right auricle or inside the, it is present in the wall of the heart. Okay, that is in the myocardium layer of the heart. It is not present inside the auricles or inside the ventricles and all. Okay, or don't think that I am drawing here inside the auricle. I am drawing here above the, okay, this just consider that this is the wall of the heart, and in the right auricle wall, okay, it will be present in the right hand side of the right auricle wall. Okay, so this is the first part of the conducting system, which is the SA node. And this SA node, it has a tendency to generate its impulse, to generate the impulse without any external stimulus, because we know that to generate an impulse there should be some sort of external stimulus, and that stimulus should have some sort of threshold value. We have discussed all these things in, okay, this neural control and coordination. But this SA node, it do not requires any sort of external stimulus. Okay, it can generate impulse by itself only. So this SA node will be generating the impulse, and after that impulse will be traveling to the whole auricular chamber. Okay, that impulse will pass to the auricular chamber, but that impulse, okay, please listen carefully, but that impulse, it cannot come to the ventricle. Then you may ask that why do not goes to the ventricle. Okay, because just between the auricle and the ventricle there is a fibrous connective tissue. Between the auricle and the ventricle there is a fibrous connective tissue, and this fibrous connective tissue is called as the annular pad. Okay, and it prevents the it prevents the entry of impulse, or it prevents the influx of the impulse from the auricles to the ventricles. So this annular pad, it behaves as an insulator, but we know that the impulse has to pass to the auricles. Then how it will pass through the auricles? So a second part of the conducting system will be present in the interventricular, near to the interventricular septum, and this region is called as this is the second part of the second part of the conducting system, and it is present in the at the junction of the interauricular septum, and this is called as the AV node. AV node. So this AV node, okay, it will be transmitting that impulse which is received by the SA node to the ventricles. Okay, so our SA node is called as the pacemaker of the heart, because it will be generating the impulse, right, and it will be transferring the impulse to the auricles, and because of that impulse only the auricles are going to contract. After that impulse will be received by the AV node. Okay, why the impulse do not goes to the ventricle directly? Because of the presence of annular pad, and annular pad, it is nothing but it is a fibrous connective tissue. It is nothing but it is a fibrous connective tissue, and it prevents the impulse from coming to the auricles to the ventricle. So there is a need of the second part of the conducting system, and that is the AV node. So this AV node is going to transmit the impulse which is received by the SA node, and it is also going to slow the you can say slow the rate. Okay, so this SA node is going to determine our heart rate. So therefore it is also called as pace setter. Okay, pace setter of the heart. So this SA node will be transferring the impulse to the next part of the conducting system, and this next part of the conducting system is nothing but it is called as the AV bundle. AV bundle, or bundle of His. Bundle of His. And from the bundle of His there will be two bundles that will arise. I'll draw it another pen. From the bundle of His there will be two bundles that will arise, which will carry the impulse to the ventricle side, and these two bundles will be called as the, one is called as the, this is called as the left bundle of His, left bundle of His, and this is called as the right bundle of His, right bundle of His. And this left and the right bundle of His will be transferring the impulse to the upper part of the the upper chamber of the ventricles, and this bundle of His, they are going to divide into some very thin fibers, and these are called as the Purkinje fibers, and these Purkinje fibers is going to transmit the impulse to the whole ventricular side. Okay, so these fibers are called as the Purkinje fibers, which are the last part of the conducting system. So if we see our parts of the conducting system, the first part which generates the impulse, or which has an auto rhythmicity, that means it can maintain the rhythm itself, it is called as the SA node. Okay, so the impulse from the SA node will be passing to the whole auricular chamber, and the time that will be taken by the impulse to reach the AV node, it is almost around 0.3 second, and the speed is almost around 1 meter per second. The impulse which is generated by the SA node will be transmitted to the whole auricular chamber or to the AV node at a speed of 1 meter per second. After then, the AV bundle, or the AV node will be receiving the impulse, and it will be passing the impulse to the AV bundle, and it will be passing the impulse to the AV bundle at a speed of almost around 1.5 to almost around 3 meter per second, or not 3 meter, 4 meter per second. Okay, and that impulse will be transmitted to the AV bundle first of all, and from the AV bundle it will be passed to the left AV bundle, or left bundle of His, and this is the right bundle of His, and this left and right bundle of His will be distributing in fine fibers which are called as the Purkinje fibers, and these Purkinje fibers are going to transmit the impulse to the whole ventricle, and finally the ventricles are going to contract. That means this the contraction of the heart is entirely dependent on the impulse, and that impulse has to be carried by something. Okay, and so who will carry it, or who will generate that impulse? These are the parts that will be associated with that. One is the SA node, the other is the AV node, the second is the AV bundle, and the left and the right bundle of His, and the Purkinje fibers. Okay, so this is all about this conducting system of the heart in very shortly. Okay, I hope you have understand, and if you don't understand, if you have any doubts, then please comment in the comment box. Thank you.